I'll be doing the gear video for you guys. I'll be hiking the Appalachian Trail this spring. So I wanted to go over my gear. I have all my gear laid out. I wanted to go over it all, explain some weights, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna put my stuff on lighterpack.com. That way you guys can take a look at it and see if I'm too heavy, too light, or whatever. I like the comments, even some of them aren't the nicest comments. So we're gonna go through my gear here. So what I'm gonna be using, I believe this is a 44. I'm gonna be using an Osprey Talon 44. That's my pack. Of course, it's got a hip belt on each side. I took everything out of the hip belts. I believe this hip belt here has the famous bug net. You need a bug net. My wife needs it more than I do, but I need a bug net to keep them out of my face and my ears and my eyes, all that good stuff. Kind of a homemade thing, but what it is a sit pad, pretty much fold it up, sit on it, wet log, stuff like that. You always want to do that. So this is I'll be using a hammock when I thru hike the Appalachian Trail. This is hammock gear. It's got a ridge line attached. It's got a snake skin around it. So that's my hammock and mosquito net in the hammock. This here is I've got the hex tarp that goes over the hammock. Okay, let's see. Of course, I got a hat. It's probably going to be cool on some nights, and of course, I don't have much hair on my head, so this is to keep me a little warmer on my head. Underneath my hammock, I believe this is my underquilt. It is a ENU that I'm going to be using. Put this over here for now. So for my sleeping bag, it's a 30-degree Mountain Hardware. Like I said, it's 30 degrees. So of course it is a mummy sleeping bag, but I can also use it as an overquilt. My underquilt will be underneath me. I'll be in the hammock, and the sleeping bag I'll be using like an overquilt sleeping bag type of thing. Some nights when I don't feel like setting up my hammock, or it's raining really bad or something, I'll be using the Thermarest X-Lite if I'm in the shelter. Possibly I'm in the shelter, I will lay this out and I will sleep on the shelter with my sleeping bag. Another thing I've learned to use this for is to put directly underneath the hammock and then put it's almost like a placemat, and also to put my backpack on when I am sleeping in the hammock. Okay, so of course got the famous Puffy. I'm not sure what brand this is. I've had this for a couple years. It has no problems. It probably, between the other gear that I wear, I believe I'll be warm enough, but it'll keep me fairly warm. On cold nights, I'm gonna match the sleeping bag with the Sea to Summit Reactor. It's like a sleeping bag liner. So what I'm gonna do, say if I'm sleeping in the shelter, I'll be using the pad underneath with my 30-degree Mountain Hardware sleeping bag, and this will be inside the sleeping bag as something that just for extra warmth. This here is my rain gear. So of course it's just the famous Frog Togs pants, the Frog Togs jacket. I've had okay success with them in the past. I mean, they're Frog Togs. They keep you dry sometimes and they make you sweat sometimes, which to me is okay. I'm gonna move over this side. So of course in my backpack, I'll be having a liner. It's just a contractor bag type of leaf bag liner that I put in there. I put everything inside this liner. Just concerned with the rain, concerned with keeping everything dry. That's my pack cover. Even though it's in the liner, so everything's gonna stay dry, this here is gonna cover my pack. And then if it is a hard rainy day, of course, I'm going to have my rain gear. This will probably be, just a black handkerchief. It'll probably be hanging off of the side of my pack where I can just pretty much grab it from my shoulder area just to wipe yourself, wipe your hands, wipe your face, anything like that. These are my trekking poles that my wife just got me for my hike / birthday / Christmas / anniversary. They're Trekology. I had an old set of trekking poles. My wife said that I needed new ones, which you always could use new stuff, right? Okay, let's see. This is what I would call my ditty bag or my cosmetic type of bag. So all I have in here is some camp soap, kind of a soft microfiber type of towel. I do have some hand sanitizer. Usually the hand sanitizer will be in one of the side pouches on my backpack. Some floss, a toothbrush, and a couple earplugs.
Do you have toothpaste?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
So I have toothpaste, toothbrush, floss, and a couple earplugs. I don't necessarily need these. The people around me might need these. I sleep pretty good, whether it's in a shelter or within my pad or whether it's in my hammock. I sleep pretty good, but sometimes you do get some noise. So it's just a pair of soft pads. That way, you just cut down on some of that noise. So, all right. This here is my medical bag. I got the typical medical stuff in my medical bag. Anything from, of course, we got ibuprofen. We have extra Sawyer water bottle filters or Sawyer filters. Or I'm sorry, the O-rings that come in the Sawyer thing. Sometimes I have lost these in the past, and that's something good to have. Band-aids,
foot powder. You have
foot powder, Band-aids, ibuprofen, medical tape, a lot of Band-aids, some Q-tips, extra matches, stuff like that. I've kind of trimmed this down and done a little bit on that. Of course, when I get to towns, I'll be resupplying what I need of what kind of went out there. All right, I'm going to stay back over here. So this is my bear bag. All it is, of course, I'll put a rock in this, but all it is some line that I have in there with a carabiner or so, just to throw up over that branch and hang up my food. This, of course, actually, I do have, this might be my food bag, or I might be getting a Hilltop food bag that I was looking at. So this is my water system. Of course, everybody uses the smart water bottles. That's what I'll be using. This is just for demonstration purposes, meaning what we're doing here, meaning doing this pack out. It's a Sawyer filter. This is the Sawyer Mini. I will not be using this. I'll be using the Sawyer Squeeze, which is just a little larger than this. I like it better because sometimes I'll have a couple of the smart water bottles where I like to guzzle it. And a lot of times these are a little tricky because you have to pull on them and squeeze. That O-ring there in the Sawyer Mini and the Sawyer Squeeze sometimes gets lost, attached, or something happens to it. That's why in my medical bag I have a couple extras of those rubber gaskets, because that's what happens. Sometimes when water is scarce or when water is questionable, let's say I get it from just a questionable source, I will actually double filter it. I'll put tablets in it to filter it, and then I'll also use my water filter to filter it, just to be safe. I don't want to catch any bug or anything like that you could possibly catch from water. These are going to probably be attached to my backpack. They're just a couple extra, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I got 6 just kind of carabiners or kind of little clips and stuff like that. I can actually use this one to hang up my ridgeline on my hammock. I believe these are most of my stuff in my bag I keep in. I'm very organized and I keep it compartmentalized, meaning that says underquilt, and of course that underquilt is going to get smashed down smaller. Of course, the Mountain Hardwear sleeping bag, that's just in its what we call like a fluff stuff sack, where usually you want to compress it, and I'm going to put it in a compression sack, and it's probably going to be that big. And I do like marking the outside of my bag so that I know exactly what, when I pull a bag out, okay, I don't need that bag because that's something else. But this here says condiments. It is not condiments. What it is a base layer. It's merino wool, long sleeve shirt, and almost like a long john type of underwear and an extra pair of socks. This will be my sleep clothes. So after I get hammock set up and I want to go into a dry set of clothes, I got a pair of socks in there that are also merino wool, a pair of that long sleeve shirt, and a long pair of like long john type of comfortable wear. All right, let's see. I'm gonna move up front here. So that's my food bag. Like I said, I'm not sure if that's what I'm gonna take or not. My food bag or my food plan is probably every 3 to 5 or 6 days, and then I'll get back into town. Not sure, so I'm gonna plan on a 5-day food bag type of thing most of the time. This here is a fanny pack that I am not positive that I am going to be wearing. I like it. I like having stuff accessible. I'm actually thinking about using my straps on my backpack and getting a waterproof type of little phone pack. Okay, we're gonna move to my cook system. Of course, I got a spoon for those meals that you have to dig out of the bottom and you don't get your fingers all nasty because you dig out of the bottom like that. Sometimes those pouches are pretty large. So in my, I believe this is a 750, so it's a titanium pot, a little lighter, a small butane, and my little, what brand is this? Tomsko brand. I believe it's a 750 milliliters type of pot. So of course, got a little, I forget which brand this is. Might be a Pocket Rocket. Put it on top of there. Put out the legs, put that on top of there, and you're all done. Except me and my wife really like Spam on the trail. The Spam is probably just too big for that. Not sure, but I believe I'm going to bring this little tiny frying pan also. You could put a piece of Spam on there. Most of the time, I only eat one hot meal during the day. Usually breakfast and lunch is something cold. Dinner time, I get camp set up. What I'm going to do is have a hot meal. Not a coffee drinker, so that's good, but usually a hot meal will be Spam, pepperoni, cheese, and like a side dish will be in here, whether it's ramen noodles, whether it's a potato or something like that, will be cooked in here. I've thought about the idea of just using this for water and actually dumping the hot water into the bag and eating it out of the bag. That way this thing, all it has in it is water. All right, I'll put that to...
But you haven't made that decision yet.
Haven't made that decision yet, and I'll put that all away here in a little bit. Just a basic, cheap type of knife. That'll be in my cook kit, you know, that way it's kind of easy and it's very light. We'll go through all the weights in a little bit, or I'll put them, they're going to be on the website. So just a cheap, just a little knife that I use to cut Spam, cut packages open, stuff like that. For my electronics, I believe this is an NU20. I actually do really like night hiking, so this will be used for night hiking. The one thing I do not like about this, it's a Nightcore NU20, I believe, is it does not have a red light setting on it. I thought about getting a little piece of red tape and wrapping around a pole or something like that, and I can literally take a little piece of red tape and put it over it, and it'll still shine through it, and it'll be that red light instead of that white light. I know sometimes you go into camp late, the shelter is full, or the shelter has a lot of people in it. You don't want to burn their eyes out with that really, really bright light. Of course, I have a charging cord for it. That's for, I just discovered, but that's for this Nightcore, and it's also for, I have a couple different options for power. This is a solar charger. I know that, of course, it's battery operated, but I also know that don't get much solar on the trail. So I have a couple different ones. I have an Anchor and I have this one. Undecided exactly which one I'm going to take. All right. I was fortunate enough to get a little Garmin Mini 2 is what it is. This will be hanging from the side of my strap on my backpack. One thing I will be using is I'll have my phone with me, and I'll be using the Far Out app as far as discovering where the next water is, or the next shelter, or what's in town and stuff like that. I've got a dual charger, so I can stick my phone in, my night core charger, my Mini 2. I was watching somebody else's video, so this is my little pillow, which little pillows are great. Sometimes I use my dirty clothes in a stuff sack, but I believe I'm going to take this with me. It's a little pillow. So what I do is I use a buff, and once I blow it up, I put the little pillow in the buff, and that's just kind of what I sleep on. So the little pillow will be inside there blown up. It's a Survivor buff, which is pretty cool. So that's what I'll be doing with that. Just going to bring a journal. This will be for other hikers that I meet, through hikers that I meet, section hikers that I meet, thoughts for the day or anything like that. It's nothing special. It is literally just maybe, I don't know, 100 pages of nothing. And hopefully I'm going to put some information in it, and where I stayed, who I met on that certain day. Like I said, I'm pretty organized, so I probably will do that at a certain time every single day. Like I said, some stuff in my gear is still undecided. Like I said, this is my base layer. In years past, when I've section hiked, I have kept an extra set of clothes instead of a base layer. Not sure what I'm going to go with, but this is what I'll be wearing on a kind of a typical day. I'll be wearing Exficio, I believe that's what they're called. Yep, Exficio underwear. A very light pair of, hiking pants. I might venture out in shorts. I wasn't very not happy. I don't like hiking in shorts typically, because I feel like your legs are getting water on them and scratched, and I don't like that idea of those things touching my legs as I'm going through. So I'm not sure about the shorts. I probably will bring a very light pair, and of course darn tough socks. Can't go without them. Like I said, I possibly will be bringing another set of clothes. The other set of clothes might just be that pair of shorts I talked about, a very light shirt, and an extra pair of underwear. Of course, I'll have the underwear that I'm wearing, the socks that I'm wearing, a change out of underwear, and a change out of socks. And then, like I said, when I get to camp, I can actually put this warm, comfortable base layer on, and that's what I can do with that. I'll be wearing these salmon. I forget exactly what models these are. Ultra 04 X's. I've really enjoyed these. These probably have, let me think there. They have the speed lace type of system, which is good. Probably have 400 miles, maybe 300 miles on them. So I will be switching these out eventually when I wear them out. So this is the gear. So what I'm going to do is I plan on doing another video down the road. This is the gear that I'll be bringing for the most part. I'm going to switch it out just a little bit here and there. So what I'll do is I might do another video of this is how I pack my bag. Okay. So all in all, I have the Lighter Pack website up here. Good thing about it is I'll be doing the through hike. My wife is not going to be doing the through hike with me, but my wife is going to meet me probably 5 or 6 times during my time of hiking the Appalachian Trail. So what's going to happen is I have this whole tote here of extra gear. So like I told my wife, and somebody gave me this idea, which is really good. What I'll do is actually lay all this stuff out in a certain location, however it is, maybe kind of like this, and that way I can have a picture of it on my phone. My wife can have a picture of it on her phone, and I'll be like, okay, honey, it's getting too hot to have a 30-degree sleeping bag. Bring me the Rich Horse luxury fluffy down blanket, or it's still a little still a little cool out, so bring me the Tweezer. I believe this is a 50-degree bag. So as it gets warmer, and then as I get to Katahdin, warmer and then back to colder, I probably plan on finishing up probably sometime in September, maybe around September 15th. So she'll meet me 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 or 6 times before I get to that location. And I'll be able to tell her, bring me certain quilts, bring me certain this, get me 5 days worth of food. I need more ibuprofen or something like that. So I'm looking at the website here. So this is the Lighter Pack website. So what I've done is I'll put everything on the Lighter Pack website, and it was a really good idea. I wouldn't say I'm a gram weenie, but I definitely like to keep my pack right around 20 pounds.
What's a gram weenie?
There's people out there that are like, of course, one thing I don't have the money to buy, $4,000 or $5,000 worth of gear. So I try to keep my stuff light, but I can't go ultra light just because I do like some creature comforts and things like that. So what I did on this website was I put all my basic things there. And then toward the bottom, what I did was I put, okay, this is what the hammock system is going to weigh, and this is what the tent system is going to weigh. When my wife comes with me, of course, we're going to sleep in a tent. I'll still be carrying the hammock, but we'll be sleeping in the tent. Or there might be that time when I say, hey, Lori, can you please bring the tent? And when she leaves me, bring this hammock back with you. So, but all in all, as I did it, like I said, I'm going to have a final do-over on it. But all in all, as I did it, it looks like with 2 liters of water, no food, that right now my pack is right around 20 pounds. I'd say 19 to 20 pounds. That's without any food. So I figure 5 days worth of food, I should be right around 23 to 25 pounds. I'm happy with that. When I first started hiking, I did not hike with 23 to 25 pounds. I hiked with 35 pounds, and then the reason they call me 2-pack, because not too far into our first hike, me and my wife, I hiked in my 35 pounds on my back and her 30 pounds of pack on my front. Therefore, that's why they call me 2-pack. In the years past, she's done great, so I haven't had to carry her pack. So this is my gear. This is everything I'm gonna pack. Of course, I had a 55th birthday and a retirement party all mixed up in one. And I was fortunate enough to get some Visa cards, get some REI cards, get some Bass Pro gift cards. So if there's anything that you're like, hey, 2-pack, you're missing such and such, please put a comment on there. Hey, you need more of this, you need less of that. Because like I said, I like to stay right around 25 pounds or less with 5 days of food. So let me know what you think. I'm sure there's stuff that I could do without, but this is just what I have packed right now. Put those comments out there and say, hey, 2-pack, I think you need this. Hey, 2-pack, I think you need that. And I'll analyze it, check it out, and stuff like that. But it was good talking to you guys. Appreciate your time. Probably coming up in the next 3 days to a week, I'll be doing my pack out of my bag to show you how I pack my bag. 2-pack out. Let's get ready.